Good morning and welcome to episode 21 of my Citroen Relay van build series. In this episode I'm going to be talking tools, and in particular one tool which I think every van builder should seriously consider investing in. But I bet you don't know what tool it is. Why don't you pause the video and put in the comments which tool you think I'm going to recommend. So what might this amazing tool be? Is it my pocket hole jig? Well, a pocket hole jig is fantastic. Two real benefits of a pocket hole jig. Firstly, it allows you to create hidden fixings, and secondly, it makes joints stronger than they would be if they were just butted and screwed into the end grain from the opposite direction. But it's not that. At the end of the day, you don't need a pocket hole jig. You can screw the joints into the end grain and a bit of glue. I think in most applications for a campervan that's going to be absolutely fine. So pocket hole jig, brilliant, but that's not it. Okay, so it's not the pocket hole jig. It's got to be the track saw, Terry. Must be that track saw. Well, I love my track saw. I've had my track saw for many years now, and it's served me all that time without fault. It's fantastic. You can cut so much quicker. You can adjust the height that you drop your saw in, which allows you to cut boards and go just through. It's got a scoring cut on it that allows me to just go through veneer so that I don't get any chip out. I can plunge into a piece of wood, so if I want to cut a big rectangular hole, I can start halfway along the track and I can just drop in there. It's a brilliant bit of kit, but you don't need one. Yes, it's much quicker to line up the cuts than it would be using a straight edge and a normal circular saw. Yes, it's a lot safer if you want to plunge in part way through, and that veneer cutting score cut is really helpful, but I don't think it's this. Not the pocket hole jig, not the track saw, got to be the trusty palm router. You can see I've had my palm router a long time. It's got a tail. These days I'm sure that everybody buys them battery, but yeah, I've had it a while. You've seen me use it a number of times to to template out the curves for my window frames and various other jobs. I do worry a little bit when I see a lot of people who are going out and buying these and they're new to them. They're pretty scary and dangerous things, actually. I would say this is scarier and more dangerous than a track saw. The blade's fairly well contained there. I'll give you some B-roll, I think it's called, of what happened to me only yesterday when I was using the router, and I had a bit shatter. It can cause a lot of damage, and that's fine if it's a piece of plywood. You just have to cut another piece of plywood. But if that's part of your body, well, that's a problem. So it's not the palm router, but it's a great tool. If you've got one though, please be careful with it. Did you think it was going to be this? Well, it's not. If you don't know what this is a Rivenut setting tool, and you'll see an awful lot of van builders using these. They're pretty cheap now. I guess they're all made in China, but generally I think they're reasonable quality, and they are fantastic for allowing you to create threaded holes in pieces of metal that, well, frankly are probably a bit too thin. Certainly too thin to be tapping, and I'm not even sure really that they should be taking self-tapping screws going in there, because if it's only a millimetre or two, there's just not enough thread engagement in there to be able to create a secure hole. Whereas this, you pop your insert on here, you push it in the hole, you pull this, and it clamps it up against that metal surface. Well, I say metal, I've used them on plastic as well, and as long as you're not too violent in terms of how much clamping pressure you put on it, it works very well. The other top tip I'd give is using a little bit of thread lock on the insert itself, so that when you put it in there, when you clamp it, it's like a glue, and it'll actually help hold it in place along with the clamping force of the insert itself, the Rivenut insert. Because one thing you don't want to happen with a Rivenut is you don't want it to start turning, because when that happens with a bolt in it, you've got a real problem, because you can't get to the back of it to hold it, and you've got to try and find a way to get that bolt out and then drill out the Rivenut. So a little bit of thread lock on there works a treat. But this is a fantastic tool, but this isn't it. So Have you guessed what the tool is that I think is the unsung hero of van building, or at least it should be, and I would recommend that most van builders go out and invest in one? Well, it's this. Excuse the mess, it's kind of hemmed into a room that's basically being used to store a load of junk that my children have brought home from university. But it's my Bamboo A1 3D printer. This thing is absolutely brilliant. I'll put some footage in of it working, which you might have seen in an earlier video. But it's an absolute winner of a tool for a van builder. It is so flexible and it will do so much for you. And it's not that expensive. But surely a 3D printer, Terry? Surely that costs a fortune. Well, no, it doesn't. I couldn't remember exactly how much my one cost, so I've just had a look up on the Bamboo website, and if you want to buy just the printer, then it's £209 with free delivery. If you saw with mine, I had a special device that also allows me to run 4 spools of filament in parallel, which means I can have multicoloured prints if I want to. I don't think I ever have actually, but that adds another £120 I think, so £329 in total. But I can see no reason for a campervan why just the basic 3D printer. My model is a Bamboo A1. You can print anything up to 256 by 256 by 256 millimeters on it, and I think for most applications on a campervan that would be perfect. Well, the printer itself doesn't cost very much. It basically uses this. This is called filament. There are various different types. I'm quite basic as a 3D printer, so I tend to use just this one. This is PLA. It's not great for outdoors because it's not UV stable and it's not the strongest. But again, for most campervan applications, then, well, I think it will be just fine. What sort of things have I printed then? Well, I don't know if you saw this in use when I was doing some of my 80/20 furniture building, but this is a clamping square that I printed. So I can put this on and I can hold clamps against these into these gaps or on these parallel surfaces here, and it allows me to square up and get something exactly at 90 degrees. 3D printed. This accessory for my track saw rail, it slides into the underside of the track and it allows me to completely square the rail up when I'm going against something, so I don't have to worry as to whether I've got a 90-degree cut with my track saw. You may remember seeing these grommets for my electrical board. Beautiful interference fit, they clip together and it's much smoother even than sanding and maybe routing over the edge of the plywood. Brilliant. Or this, which I've not used yet, but this is a clip for cables. It will run into my 80/20 slots and then hold cables in place. Brilliant. Got to be a tech whiz? Absolutely not. Every one of these items, some kind soul somewhere around the world has designed these and has then uploaded them into a web warehouse of designs. That whole technology is getting even cleverer now. These ones are loaded up in something called a parametric model, which means that I could bespoke size these and maintain the properties and all of the nice bevels and everything else. I could decide how big the hole was going to be, how big the flange was going to be, even the wall thickness on these I could set myself, and it was very simple. I just had to enter 3 or 4 numbers on the side of the program and it would size these to the perfect size that I wanted them for. So there's a fantastic resource out there in terms of things you can find. I've got a little spreadsheet with all sorts of links to models that I think might be helpful at some point during my build. Things like where I'm using 20/20 and 30/30 aluminium section, little blocks that allow me to join the two together. You can buy those in the US, but they don't seem to be available in the UK. Well, I can print them now. But none of those things I've previously printed made me think I should produce this video. It was this that ultimately made me think I've got to share my evangelism for the 3D printer. Do you remember me saying a few videos back that this fan was great, but it left a rather scruffy edge on the inside? I'll put some footage up of that now. Well, I measured it, and this was my first ever venture into basically designing my own part. I used a terribly simple program called Tinkercad. You've probably seen others on doing van builds, maybe using it. But I think essentially it was designed for children, but that's about perfect for my level of technical expertise. I printed this, and this fits absolutely beautifully up into here. This was actually my prototype part. I thought I'd have to print it once or twice to get it right, but first time it's gone bang in there. Now I think I'm probably going to print it again in white, but I'll put some footage of what a difference it makes to the look of the inside of the fan. And it was this that made me think, I've got to share this. I've got to show people what you can achieve with a 3D printer on a van build. So this part took 57 grams of filament. Well, if we round things up at the price of a roll of filament, it's probably about 70p. 70p for that? Well, God knows what Solway would actually charge you if they wanted that. Probably £100. I don't know. And the difference between this and my Solway panels from last week, if you haven't seen it, you might want to watch that video, is this fits. So I can't speak highly enough about 3D printers. 210 quid, I would say, would be money well spent if you're going to do a van conversion. And you will no doubt find lots of ways to use a 3D printer that I haven't thought of. But yeah, get yourself a 3D printer. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of my Citroen Relay van build. Have a great week.